Hello there. I want to show you proof that our secular constitution was very intentional. Everything just about that I'm going to say is from Susan Jacoby. She's an author, Free Thinkers, A History of American Secularism. And there's no way I could learn all this stuff, so yes, I will be reading a lot of it. I'm going to totally read this first part. Excuse me. This is showing a comparison of a religious preamble to the Constitution and our preamble to the Constitution. Okay, so this one, it says, "In the name of the most holy Trinity, from whom is all authority, and to whom, as our final end, all actions both of men and states must be referred, we, the people of Eire, humbly acknowledging all our obligations to our divine Lord Jesus Christ, who sustained our fathers through centuries of trial," and it keeps going. You know, it's Ireland. Now this is ours. "We, the people of the United States, in order to form a more perfect union, establish justice, ensure domestic tranquility, provide for the common defense, promote the general welfare, and secure the blessings of liberty to ourselves and our posterity, do ordain and establish this Constitution for the United States of America." Can you tell the difference? There's a big difference, isn't there? Now, some people point to the Declaration of Independence and they say, well, God was in there. There was nature's God and there was endowed by our Creator. So they didn't even know back then about evolution and anything that was beyond what they could understand. They would call God, nature's God. It was very nature-oriented. The Enlightenment of that time, the people were very progressive and also very into the rule of law, but it was the pagan Roman Republic inspired them, not Christianity. It was the laws of the pagan Roman Republic because of setting out a system that you could follow. So anyway, in the Declaration of Independence, the first, I know the first draft was and from that equal creation, but it ended up being endowed by their Creator, you know. And I know they had pressure. They had much pressure from religious people to try to insert God, so they did put nature's God in there, I guess. So anyway, the states were trying to figure out their state constitutions as well, and Thomas Jefferson proposed a bill for Virginia that would give equality for all religions and no religion as well. And it also called for complete separation of civil and religious authority, separation of church and state. And people argued about it and tried to amend it for 7 years. Okay, now this is the state of Virginia. This is theirs. This is, and I've got a quote from Thomas Jefferson about this bill. It says, "The bill is meant to comprehend within the mantle of its protection the Jew and the Gentile, the Christian and Mohammedan," I don't know how to pronounce that, "the Hindu and infidel of every denomination." Infidel is non-believer. So this was, I mean, so progressive for that time, just amazing. And that was the template for our Constitution. The Virginia bill was the template for our Constitution. So very secular. James Madison worried that a law guaranteeing complete religious liberty might not be sufficient to quash religious intrusion into government. And you know I don't talk that way. I'm lifting this from Susan Jacoby. It's like, it's so marvelous. But he said that a secular government's even-handedness toward all forms of belief and non-belief would minimize the worst effects of religious discord on civil society and government. So I thought that was funny. It's like, if they could see us today, what we're dealing with today, they'll know that it minimized the worst effects for a long time, but all of a sudden, you know, the religions have gone through the cracks and the crazies and all of that. So, I mean, I should blame it on the founding fathers for not being more strict and keeping every bit of religion out, no matter what, you know. But I won't, because they did a beautiful job with what they had, and you know, they've given us a beautiful country. Hopefully we can make it a lot better than it is right now. So who was on the side of the Enlightenment and all of this, and on the side of the forefathers? This would be some religious people who were afraid that their particular religion would not be allowed if just Christianity got in there. So they were on the side of a secular government, and also some religious people thought it was an insult to God to put religion into the government. So they were also on the side. So they had enough people to always fend off these few religious conservative type people. John Mason was a preacher, and he always sounded outrageous and outlandish, this outlandish thing. And he said God would crush us to atoms in the wreck if we didn't put God into the Constitution. We have to write it in there. And later on, I believe it was John Mason that said that not having religious tests for office holders amounted to an invitation for Jews and pagans of every kind to come among us. Does that sound prejudice? Just a little bit? It's really disgusting. So I'm going to flip the page here because I have so much. I'm hoping I can fit it all in today. And I'm moving stuff right and left right now. Bear with me. Technical difficulties. Okay, so we have laws in the Constitution that allow office holders to take a religious oath on the Bible or a different book or no book. You don't have to have a book. Or an affirmation, which is more secular than the oath. The affirmation stresses personal conscience and honesty, and that can be on a book. It could be on a science book, or it could be no book. Trump did not put his hand on the Bible, and we all noticed that. But I think it's because he didn't want the optic, or people told him not to because they didn't want the optic of him doing this with his hand on the Bible and then going against the Constitution, swearing to uphold the Constitution and then going against it. And he has gone against it already a whole lot, and we know that. Anyway, this is the Establishment Clause. Congress shall make no law respecting an establishment of religion or prohibiting the free exercise thereof or abridging the freedom of speech or of the press or of the right of the people to peacefully to assemble and to petition the government for a redress of grievances. But, what we're doing right now. Let's see. In 1818, Jefferson wrote a letter to Adams. This is okay. He was talking about the state of Connecticut adopting a secular constitution, and he was excited about it because they broke away from the Congregationalist church ruling them, and instead they said, no, we're going to have a secular one. And he was joyful that, and this is a quote from Thomas Jefferson, this den of the priesthood is at last broken up, and that a Protestant popedom is no longer to disgrace the American history and character. You can tell they didn't like religion in their government. So you can see that the founders knew exactly what they were doing. However, they didn't anticipate, the religious fervorism which we have today, and how bad it would get. But it's up to us now. This is me talking. It's up to us to uphold our secular constitution the way our founding fathers intended. Yeah, I'm seeing if the